Introduction, Unit 4. Process Improvement Cycle. Each process follows a simple improvement cycle that consists of 4 steps: plan, do, check, and adapt or act. It is a continuous effort to improve the quality of the intervention that deliver the output which support the objectives planned by the project. This continuous feedback loop is also known as the Shewhart cycle. It's used for the continuous improvement of a process. We will use a modified version of this approach for each one of the project management processes from initiation to closing. This continuous feedback loop, the Shewhart cycle or the PDCA cycle, is an iterative design and management method used in business for the control and continuous improvement of processes and products. It was developed by Walter Andrew Shewhart, an American physicist, engineer, and statistician, sometimes known as the father of statistical quality control. The first phase of the cycle is to plan. All project processes need a plan. You will need to identify on each process the level of detail required, the information you will need to develop the plans, the people that will use the plans, and the level of effort needed to develop the plans. This will include the use of tools and techniques to develop each plan. For example, the development of the schedule management plan that will be used to monitor the time to complete the project. The second step, once the plans have been approved, is to execute the plans. This is a step where the management processes are carried out by the people responsible for it. This is where the process produces the outputs that will contribute to the achievement of the outcomes. In this step, the process is monitored, controlled, and revised to ensure it is performing as expected and is producing the planned outputs. This step is important because it allows you to review the plan, analyze the results, and identify the causes for any deviations from the plan. The last step main focus is to learn and improve the process based on the analysis made in the previous step. The changes are incorporated in the planning step as part of the insights and lessons the project is constantly learning. Once the changes are implemented, it's time to start the next cycle. In process management, each process will consist of 3 elements: the inputs to the process to manage the work, and the outputs of the process. Each process is dependent on the inputs that are available to define the scope and objectives of the process outputs. The Input Process Output model, or IPO model, is used in project management to identify the information, constraints, and policies that regulate the processes and determine the type of outputs the process can produce. The IPO model is a simple method to define how the project management processes can identify the required inputs to produce the expected outputs. Input refers to the information, documents, policies, resources, and other elements that contribute to the design of the process. The quality of the input has a direct effect on the quality of the process outputs. For example, the donor contract, quality standards, and the lessons learned. Process is the application of techniques and tools to the project activities, expressed as a sequence of steps with the goal of producing a specific result. The process is a way to describe a series of related activities required to achieve a project objective, results, or outcome. For example, the process to plan, do, check, and adapt the schedule management plan. Outputs are the results obtained from the process. These are the plans or documents that will facilitate the management of the project and that may be used by other processes as inputs. For example, project plans, change authorization, reports, and updates. The use of this model ensures that there is a standard method to manage each process, ensures that the inputs are relevant, accurate, and credible, and that in turn will ensure quality and compliance. The model helps identify and review the process when it's not producing the expected outputs. But not all processes are the same. Some will require more effort, more inputs, and more time to manage than others. For example, a project that has significant constraints on the budget will require more discipline and more detailed plans to manage the cost of the project.